Imagine being compared to Michael Jordan for your skills, but instead of just praise, you're at the heart of a controversy shaking the sports world. This is the reality for Caitlin Clark. Welcome back, sports fans. Today, we're diving into a story that's more than just about basketball. Caitlin Clark, the rising star of the WNBA, is making headlines not only for her incredible talent, but also for a controversy that's sparking debates across social media and beyond. So good at basketball that you're compared to Michael Jordan. That's Caitlin Clark right now. But instead of basking in praise, she's caught in the middle of a storm, and it's not about her skills. This controversy has everyone from fans to Megyn Kelly fired up. Let's break down what's really going on. But first, hit that like button to help Caitlin Clark and the WNBA rise above the NBA. Remember the first time Caitlin Clark wowed you on the court? Get ready for another shocker. During a recent game against the Chicago Sky, something unexpected happened that left fans stunned. Picture this. Clark is focused, moving down the court, when out of nowhere, she's struck from behind by a rival player. The ball isn't even close. This wasn't a normal play gone wrong. It seemed deliberate, almost calculated. Sure, basketball's a contact sport, but this felt different. The timing, the intensity, everything was off. Fans in the stands caught the moment on their phones, and social media blew up faster than you can say bad play. Reactions were all over the place. Outraged fans demanded suspensions, penalties, you name it. They saw this as a blatant attack on Clark, maybe even driven by jealousy of her rising stardom. Others shrugged it off. That's just basketball, they said. If you can't handle it, get off the court. And who was the player behind the hit?
Kennedy Sila.
You might expect her to be issuing apologies left and right, but instead, Kennedy doubled down with a strong statement. I have no regrets. I promise to compete and give it my all, no matter the opponent. Bold words, right? But they only fueled the debate further. Is this the kind of toughness we want in women's basketball, or has it gone too far? Some say Kennedy's just playing hard, but others worry she's putting players' safety at risk. And it's not just fans weighing in. Big names are getting involved too. Whoopi Goldberg, yes, that Whoopi, jumped into the fray, defending the physicality of the game. This is how basketball is played. But is she right? Should we expect this level of aggression in the WNBA? Just when you thought things couldn't get any more intense, Megyn Kelly stepped into the ring. And let me tell you, she didn't hold back. The former Fox News anchor took a strong stand in defense of Clark, suggesting that the backlash against her goes way beyond what's happening on the court. Kelly hinted at something deeper, something that's sparking conversations far beyond just jump shots and free throws. However, Megyn Kelly believes there's more to Caitlin Clark's rise than just her skills on the court. Yes, you heard that right. Kelly has introduced two hot-button topics into the conversation: white privilege and pretty privilege. She didn't mince words, saying, there are two things, white privilege and pretty privilege. I do believe that because she is white and attractive, she is more relatable to a wider audience. Whoa, that's not something you hear every day in sports commentary, is it? But Kelly didn't stop there. She implied that Clark's fame isn't just about her incredible basketball abilities. It's also about her skin color and appearance. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, there's no denying that Kelly's comments have opened up a Pandora's box. This discussion has now moved far beyond basketball, sparking debates on race, gender, and even sexuality in sports. Kelly's questions aren't easy to answer, but they're certainly worth considering. Are white athletes, particularly women, subject to different scrutiny? Is Clark's notoriety partly due to her image? These are tough issues that add layers of complexity to the conversation. And let's not forget, this isn't just any sports league we're talking about. It's the WNBA, a league celebrated for its diversity and its significant LGBTQ+ player base. So when someone like Clark emerges and becomes the face of the league, it's bound to stir emotions and raise questions. Taking a step back, let's look at the bigger picture. Basketball has a rich history of breaking barriers. Think about it. This sport was one of the first to truly embrace integration. In the past, it wasn't just about having white and black players sharing the court. It was about talent shining through, no matter the player's background or appearance. Remember the Harlem Globetrotters? They weren't just entertainers. They were pioneers, blazing new trails during a time when racial segregation was still rampant in the 1940s and 1950s. They showed the world that skill knows no color, dominating all-white teams and proving that talent is what truly matters on the court. And let's not forget legends like Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. These athletes weren't just accepted. They were celebrated at a time when racial tensions in America were at their peak. They rose to become the faces of the NBA, not because of their race, but because of their undeniable talent. So, how does all this relate to Caitlin Clark's situation today? It's complicated. Clark is undeniably talented, there's no question about that. She's breaking records and drawing massive crowds, continuing the legacy of those legendary players who were celebrated for their brilliance. But unlike those early pioneers, Clark isn't breaking down racial barriers. Instead, she's facing a different kind of scrutiny. Many are now wondering if there's more to her fame than just her talent. Is it because of her race? Her attractiveness? These are the kinds of questions that weren't typically asked in the past, but they're front and center now. And there's more to consider: the current state of the WNBA. Did you know that over 30% of WNBA players identify as LGBTQ+? That's a significant figure, showing that the league celebrates diversity in ways that go beyond race. But this raises intriguing questions. Is the WNBA's image shifting because of Clark's celebrity? What impact does this have on a league that prides itself on being inclusive? Some might argue that Clark represents a step backward, embodying a more traditional stereotype. Others would say she's simply that talented, and that her background and appearance have nothing to do with her success. The truth is, it's probably not that simple. Clark's rise to prominence shows that even in 2023, issues of representation and what it means to be a sports icon are still hotly debated. As we've seen, Caitlin Clark's ascent has sparked intense discussions that go far beyond the basketball court. This conversation goes far beyond a single player or one incident. It's about much more than that. We're talking about the values we uphold in society, in education, and in athletics. Think about it. What do you want to see when you watch a game? Tough plays, intense rivalry, maybe even a bit of roughness? Or do you prefer a clean, risk-free match where no one gets hurt? It's not an easy question to answer, is it? Take Whoopi Goldberg's perspective, for example. She made a strong statement by defending the physical nature of basketball. "This is basketball," she said. "This is a common occurrence." It's almost as if she's saying, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. But is that really the right viewpoint? On the other hand, there are those who worry about player safety. They ask, what if someone gets seriously hurt? Today, it's not just about winning or losing. It's about these athletes' long-term health. A serious injury could derail a career before it even starts. But here's where it gets even more complicated. It's not just about what happens on the court. It's about how we perceive these athletes off the court too. Are we judging them solely on their abilities, or are other factors influencing our opinions? Factors like background, appearance, or race. And this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. This controversy could have a significant impact on the WNBA and women's sports in general. Think about it. What happens to the fan base if people start to believe the league is too harsh, or that some players are getting special treatment? Could it discourage future athletes from pursuing women's basketball? But maybe, just maybe, this is exactly what the sport needs. A little controversy can spark interest and get people talking. After all, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. Now, this is where you come in. The next time you're watching a game, reading about a player, or discussing sports with friends, ask yourself, am I seeing the full picture, or are outside factors shaping my perspective? Because let's face it, our perceptions of these athletes are heavily influenced by the media these days. One tweet, one viral video, or one headline can create an opinion. But is that fair? Does that capture the whole story? Take Caitlin Clark, for instance. Some see her as the future of women's basketball, a game-changer who's drawing in new fans and elevating the sport to new heights. Others believe she's getting preferential treatment, perhaps because of her appearance or background. So, which perspective is right? Or is the truth somewhere in the middle? And it's not just about Clark. Almost every athlete faces this scrutiny. Are we evaluating them fairly, based on their abilities, work ethic, and dedication? Or are we letting outside influences cloud our judgment? These circumstances are forcing us to confront our own biases, our own perceptions, and the way we view sports and athletes. It's uncomfortable, but maybe that's a good thing. Sometimes progress requires a little discomfort. So, the next time you hear about a controversial play, a rising star, or a heated sports debate, dig deeper. Ask questions. Think critically. Because sports are more than just wins and losses. They're a reflection of us, our values, and our society. What do you think? Is Caitlin Clark's fame a result of her undeniable talent, or are there other factors at play? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter in the world of sports.